For decades, dietary cholesterol was vilified as a major contributor to heart disease and cognitive decline. Eggs, shellfish, liver, once staples of traditional diets, were pushed aside in favor of low-fat, high-carb alternatives. The public was told that consuming foods high in cholesterol would directly raise blood cholesterol levels, clog arteries, and hasten death. But modern science has significantly complicated that narrative. The truth is far more nuanced, and continuing to follow outdated advice may actually harm more than help, especially when it comes to brain health. Let's start with a critical clarification. Dietary cholesterol, the cholesterol you eat, and blood cholesterol, the cholesterol circulating in your bloodstream, are not as tightly linked as once believed. For most people, eating cholesterol-rich foods does not cause a dramatic rise in blood cholesterol. That's because the body self-regulates. When you consume more cholesterol through food, the liver typically produces less to compensate. In fact, your body produces far more cholesterol internally than you typically consume through your diet. Multiple large-scale studies and meta-analyses have found that dietary cholesterol has only a modest impact on blood cholesterol levels in the average person. For about 70% of the population, so-called normal responders, eating eggs or shrimp doesn't significantly raise LDL, bad cholesterol. Even in hyperresponders, dietary cholesterol may slightly raise both LDL and HDL, good cholesterol, with little net effect on heart disease risk. Still, fear around dietary cholesterol persists, often out of context. And here's where the danger lies. When people are told to avoid foods like eggs or liver due to cholesterol content, they often replace them with highly processed carbs or low-fat, sugar-laden alternatives that do far more damage. This shift can increase insulin resistance, inflammation, and triglycerides, major contributors to cardiovascular and brain disease. The brain itself is rich in cholesterol. About 20 to 25% of the body's total cholesterol resides in the brain, where it plays a vital role in forming synapses, insulating neurons, myelin, and maintaining cell membrane integrity. Without adequate cholesterol, especially during development or aging, cognitive function suffers. Extremely low cholesterol levels have been associated with depression, increased suicide risk, and even higher all-cause mortality in older adults. This isn't to say cholesterol can't be harmful. Oxidized LDL cholesterol, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction, often driven by poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, and excessive sugar intake, do contribute to artery damage and disease. But blaming dietary cholesterol alone oversimplifies the problem and misdirects focus away from the real culprits. Eggs, for example, once demonized for their cholesterol content, are now being reevaluated. They are rich in choline, critical for brain function, lutein, a neuroprotective antioxidant, and high-quality protein. Many experts now agree that 1 to 2 eggs per day is safe for most people and may even be beneficial, particularly for older adults at risk for cognitive decline. Still, warnings apply. Individuals with familial hypercholesterolemia or genetic lipid disorders may need to limit dietary cholesterol under medical guidance. And the method of preparation matters. Frying eggs in processed oils or pairing them with bacon and white toast drenched in margarine undermines their benefits. Context is everything. In the end, the persistent demonization of dietary cholesterol is outdated, and continuing to avoid nutrient-dense, cholesterol-rich foods out of fear may deprive the body and brain of critical building blocks. Rather than obsessing over one nutrient in isolation, it's far more effective to focus on the bigger picture, an anti-inflammatory, whole food diet rich in fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants. The myth of dietary cholesterol as a primary villain in heart and brain disease is not only misleading, it may be actively harmful. The time has come to replace fear with facts and allow foods like eggs, shrimp, and liver back into the conversation, wisely, moderately, and with attention to the full dietary context.